and the people that we work for. You don't get any better than that.
In Londonderry, detectives is a promotion, so we get a little more pay. We don't have any supervisory power, but we're kind of on our own. If you look at the chain of command, we're kind of out here on our own. Our immediate supervisor is Lieutenant Scott Saunders, but we still fall under the patrol division, so we'd still be under the supervision of Captain Tatham. This is a receiver for body wire that we have. And anytime that we use this device, if someone's going in wearing a body wire, we have to get authorization from the county or the state saying it's okay, because one party is going to be recorded and they don't know it. New Hampshire is a two-party state when it comes to recording phone conversations or any kind of conversations per se. We can get around that through authorization from the county attorney's office. We can go AC, we can go DC from a car. It also has an internal power source. As you can see, it has a tape recorder here. This is a fairly old unit. Most of them these days are digital, but this is actually, it's in great working order. There's no need to replace it. We only have one frequency programmed into it, but it can go up to 6 different frequencies. This is used primarily for drug investigations, but we can use it for other things as well. Just take it off charge, go, close it up, and we can go. It's very mobile. We have another antenna that we can hook to it if we're going to be a distance away to get a little bit better reception. We just inherited this from the fire department. It's just basically a camera unit, but it uses, as you can see, the little LEDs here. It's infrared. It has some weights that go on it. Its main design, I believe, was to put into water, and so you could see, but it works really well seeing in the dark. Some applications that law enforcement may need it for is SWATs. The SWAT unit may actually just take this on a pole real quick and look in a window. If it's blacked out in there, the lights are out, we may be able to see using this device.
As a detective, detectives investigate any crime that needs to be investigated more fully, that needs follow-up that the patrolmen aren't able to do because they're answering calls. It's more difficult for them to go out of town because they need to be patrolling Londonderry itself and setting up appointments and things like that. So mostly felony crimes that require more work, like in interviews and follow-up. The detectives usually take on that responsibility.
Okay, this is what we call a fuming chamber. This is just an air ventilation system that it's in. This is the actual chamber. It's just a Rubbermaid box with a lid on it. We have a heat source in it, which is nothing more than a coffee cup warmer. What we do is, any items that will fit in here that we've taken from any kind of crime scene that we need to look for fingerprints, we'll take it, place it in here, put super glue on one of these small tins, and put it on the hot plate. Put the lid back on, seal it up, put this down, turn the ventilation on. We'll let it sit in there for about 20 minutes. Okay, so it's been sitting here for 20 minutes. You just reach in, take the lid off. Put this back down. We'll allow it to ventilate for a little while. Super glue fumes are not nice to breathe in. It's very dangerous. It's vented out. Once that's done, we'll take our items to a table. Flat surface anywhere. And for today's demonstration, we just fume. This right here was taken from a crime scene. What happens is when super glue is heated, it just quickly causes it to evaporate and releases what's called cyanoacrylate. Cyanoacrylate will float around. It actually adheres to moisture. So any moisture left in the fingerprint, it will find and it will adhere to it. So in essence, it builds up the fingerprint and encases it and hardens it and makes it more permanent.
it over the print that I just dusted for. Now the fingerprint is on my lifter. And there's a fingerprint in here. Now that print can be sent to the lab for comparison to suspects, or put into the database to see if it matches any other fingerprints that are in the database. If we do that, it's the same procedure whether we use white powder, black powder, or any of the fluorescent powders. It's going to be the same procedure. Okay, there's the print right there. So now here's a fingerprint, you can see it, you can see the ridges on it. The light accents it so we can see that print that we may not be able to see with the naked eye.
It also shows more detail this way.
And we could photograph that. This is using a green powder, and again you can see ridge detail in there. Make out the print, and this one is with a pink powder. This one's a little harder to see.
Generally, the MO of most of the burglaries that we deal with are that the daytime, the residential, people go to work during the day. These guys know that. They'll go up, they'll knock on the door. If no one answers or a big giant dog doesn't bark, they'll kick the door in and they'll go in.
Recently, there's definitely a rise in fraud or internet crime and ID fraud. That's definitely on the rise.
All members that are on the team are voluntary. There's no extra pay except maybe some overtime for the patrol guys that may, have to work over hours or whatever to get overtime. But it's all voluntary, and it is above and beyond your regular 8-hour whatever you do for the day. The Southern New Hampshire Special Operations Unit was started up at about 1998. We started meetings as early as 1997. It took a while to get everybody online. Currently it's made up of 9 different agencies. We cover quite a big area. Since our inception, there's been 2 more regional teams that have come on. There's the Seacoast team, there's also a Central New Hampshire team. The regional concept for us is that with the 9 agencies, we now have a membership of somewhere around 60 people. That includes tactical members, negotiators, and medical, and also 2 doctors that are on the team. It certainly brings a great benefit to the agencies we cover. My role from the beginning has been, or my largest role from the beginning has been training coordinator for the team, mostly for the tactical guys. Negotiators cover their own training, but for the tactical team, I've been the training coordinator, and that doesn't consist just of me. There's a core of 8-10 guys that are instructors that will do different types of instruction. So, but I'm the one that has to coordinate it, put it together for each month, come up with the lesson plan and put it together.
Can you see him? Put your hands up on your head. Can you see his hands? Okay. That's as far as Kevin needs to go. It's as far as anybody of the assaulters needs to go.
We try to train for, or spend a lot of our time training for the things that what we kind of call our bread and butter, which are things like high-risk warrant service, drug warrant service, arrest warrant. And also barricaded subjects, someone who may be holed up in a house or something, maybe suicidal, doesn't want to give up right away. Those types of things are probably a great portion of our call-outs, so we train for those more often. But we also cover various different types of scenarios besides that to keep us current with what the current events are.